If you've spent any time at all on YouTube, I'm willing to bet you've stumbled into this really weird but wildly popular corner of the internet, Manhwa Recap videos. They're these super long, sometimes multi-hour videos that summarize entire seasons of Korean comics, and they all seem to have one thing in common: absolutely unhinged titles. I mean, come on, let's just dive into this one. We've all seen titles like this pop up. For those not in the know, isekai basically means zapped into another world, and OP just means overpowered. It's like the entire story is right there in the title, promising this ultimate power fantasy, right? Right, maybe you've seen something more like this. It's blending gaming stuff like Dungeon Hunter with modern slang like Riz, charisma, and waifus, which is a whole thing for idealized female characters. It's almost a language of its own. And yeah, the grammar can sometimes feel, well, let's just call it creatively translated. But here's the thing, don't let these bizarre titles fool you. This is not just some quirky hobby. No, this is a massive, surprisingly professional ecosystem. Some researchers are even calling it an architecture of digital narration. So today, we're going to peel back the layers on how these videos get made, why they're so ridiculously addictive, and what they tell us about storytelling in the digital age. All right, first up, let's get into the incredible amount of technical work that goes into turning these static comic book panels into something that feels fluid and cinematic. It looks simple, but trust me, it's anything but. At the heart of it all is this editing technique called the PSZ framework: panning, scrolling, and zooming. The best editors, they make sure a static panel is never actually static. The camera is always on the move, guiding your eye, creating this sense of energy. It makes you feel like you're watching an animated show instead of just looking at pictures. And the really top-tier channels, oh, they take it to a whole other level. They use advanced tricks like parallax effects, where they're literally cutting characters out from the background to create this illusion of depth. They're adding their own visual effects, glowing auras, crackling energy, to make the action really pop. And the pacing is just relentless. Each panel's only on screen for a few seconds, which keeps you hooked and pushes the story forward. And then the final layer that brings it all together: sound. We're talking whoosh, impact, shimmer, zap. Editors have these huge libraries of anime-style sound effects that give weight and energy to every single action. Every punch lands with an impact. Every sword flash has a whoosh. It's this auditory assault that makes the story feel so visceral, so alive. Okay, so you've got the visuals locked down. Now we get to the real engine of the recap: the narration. This is what turns a bunch of pictures into an actual story. And it brings up one of the biggest debates in this whole world. Do you go with a human or a machine? Look, AI has some undeniable perks, right? Cost and speed. You can crank out hours of narration almost instantly for way, way less than hiring a voice actor. And if you're a channel that needs to pump out a ton of content, that's a game changer. But, and this is a big but, that efficiency comes at a price. Yeah, AI can mimic a tone, but that genuine emotional weight, it's just not there yet. As one analysis from Alex puts it, a human voice actor brings a richness that AI just can't replicate. You can almost hear their body language, That authenticity is exactly why the best of the best often invest in a real person. It just creates a much, much deeper connection with you, the audience. Okay, so this entire multi-million view empire, it's all built on copyrighted stuff. So how in the world do they monetize it without getting shut down instantly? Well, they play this super high-stakes, constantly changing game of chess against YouTube's copyright bots. These creators have a whole playbook of tricks. They'll flip panels horizontally, throw on subtle color filters, and make sure no single image stays on screen for too long. It's all designed to confuse the algorithms. And on the story side, they'll turn all the dialogue into what's called reported speech. So instead of a character saying, "I will save you," the narrator says something like, "The hero declared that he would save her." It's a clever way to avoid matching the original comic script and just fly right under the radar. So we've covered the how, but maybe the most fascinating question of all is why? Why are millions of people spending hours listening to someone summarize a comic they could just, read? And the answer isn't just about it being easy. It actually says some really profound things about our lives today. A lot of sociologists and researchers are talking about this thing called the togetherness deficit. Think about it. Our media is all fragmented. There's this friendship recession making it harder to connect with people. So we're looking for that companionship online. And these recap videos, whether they mean to or not, are stepping in to fill that void.
The narrator isn't just a narrator. They become this kind of digital friend, a narrator coon who's right there with you, experiencing the story. And you see it in the comments. They're full of these inside jokes, like the community coming up with nicknames like Trashta and Sovishit for characters they all hate from the remarried empress. These terms become this universal language. It turns reading, which is usually a solo activity, into this big collective social event. And that really leaves us with this one last big thought. What are we looking at here? Are these recaps just a lazy way to consume stories? Like we're outsourcing the act of reading itself? Or is this something else? Is it a modern version of one of our oldest traditions? Gathering around a campfire and having someone tell us a story? Whatever you think the answer is, one thing is for sure. This new kind of digital narration has totally changed the game.